I'm gonna just introduce you. And so the workshop is called Groundwork, Poetry Workshop for Queer Voices. So I was gonna pronounce your name like Frenchly. Sénéchal, yeah, okay. Sénéchal, okay, parfait. Elena Sénéchal-Becker is a writer and editor living in Montreal, where she is a PhD student at McGill University, as well as a lesbian menace. I love that. Knowah Holder is a very serious Black transsexual writing and living in. I haven't heard that pronunciation. Okay. She's a co-founder of Groundwork TO, and her work has been published in a White Wall Review and Cunt magazine. I love that.
Amazing. That's us.
In case
Yeah.
you forgot our
Yeah.
names. So we're gonna actually get everyone to introduce themselves, just because we're a nice small group. So that way we can actually know all of your names as well as you guys know our names, and hopefully we can connect. But yeah, so I'm Elena.
I'm Knowah.
Go ahead.
Magic. We're non-binary.
Hello.
Nin. Nice to meet you. Got you.
Nice.
Ollie. Cute.
Thank you.
Thank
Perfect.
you. Can you next slide us? I've given up on this. Oh, okay. So the way that this is kind of, I think we missed one. No? Okay. So the way that this is going to work, we're going to do groundbreaker prompt, which will probably give like 8-ish minutes, just so you can kind of like shake the nerves out. We've done many sort of like ekphrastic prompts before, of like looking at images and how do we like pull poetry or prose from that. But because we're here at the RLQ, actually, I picked up this book called Forbidden Passages. It's a writings band in Canada. It's published in the States under Clays Press, which were like in New Jersey for a time, and then they moved to San Fran, of course. But part of why this is so important is L'Androgyne, which was like one of the first, I think it's cited as the first queer like Montreal bookstore, started in the 70s, and Glad Day Bookshop, which is still running in Toronto, were two like really big factors of getting this book itself published and also like accessible in Canada. And so the comic strip that we've pulled is from this dyke comic, Diane Dumasa, who's American. I'm pretty sure she's from New Jersey. And she was drawing this thing called Hothead Paisan Homicidal Lesbian Terrorist from like 91 to 96. And this is a strip from that, from one of those series. And I mean, I'll read this just because it's probably like slightly illegible. Some person is holding a sign that says, "There's no such thing as an unwanted baby. Murderers, bitches, a whole bunch of nonsense." Then we see the hot-headed paisan like stuck behind a wall being like, "I gotta get out of here. I gotta get far away from here. I gotta get off the planet. All the humans are gonna be killed. We can't be the same species. Either they're not human or I'm not. Whatever they are, I have to get away, but where can I go?" And so for this groundbreaker prompt, we kind of wanted, in terms of shaking the nerves off, we wanted to think about, finding your own context of this comic page of a time where you felt like you were like the non-human in the room. And to save yourself, where did you go? How did you get away? Who were the others? We'll give like 8 minutes. If we don't have writing things, there are like papers and pens just on the side here. Hold on. I'll get it for ya. Do you need some water? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a part of the conference that is not always included is writing utensils. So we brought our own. Okay, I'm gonna set a timer for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna write alongside you guys, so.
Normally we have music when we do this, we're so sorry.
Okay, so the 8 minutes are over, so we'll ask you to end your sentences. And hopefully that was helpful to just kind of shake the rust off a little bit. I know for me it's kind of a meditative thing of just trying to like keep the pen on the paper as much as possible. Don't know how well it worked this time, but there's always next time. Let's move on to our first prompt, our actual first prompt. If Knowah can do it. Oh yeah, okay, we have a little, yeah. You guys understand the vibes. Okay, I'm gonna read this because this is my poem that I chose to bring to the space today. It's called Miss You Would Like to Grab That Chilled Tofu We Love. And it's by Gabrielle Calvo-Caresi, who's an incredible writer. If you guys haven't checked her out, you really should. Oh yeah, I guess I could read from there. Is it? Oh. Yeah, where is she from? I think she's American, unfortunately. But she's awesome, and she's also gay, so representation. Okay, Miss You would like to grab that chilled tofu we love. Do not care if you bring only your light body. Would just be so happy to sit at the table and talk about the menu. Miss You. Wish we could bet which chilies they'll put on the cubes of tofu. Our favorite. Sometimes green, sometimes red. Roasted, we always thought. But so cold and fresh. How did they do it? Wish you could be here to talk about it like it was so important. Wish you could. Watched you on the screens as I was walking, as I was cooking. Wish you could get out of the hospital. Can't bring myself to order our dish and eat it in the car. Miss you laughing. Miss you coming in from the cold or one too many meetings, laughing. I'll order already. I'll order 7 helpings, some dumplings, those cold yam noodles that you like. You can come in your light body or skeleton or be invisible. I don't even care. No, you have a long way to travel. No, I don't even know if it's long at all. Wish you could tell me what you're reading, if you're reading. Miss you. I'm at the table in the back. Oh, can we, yeah, okay, no. Okay, so I love this poem because I'm not really sure, like I can't really tell for myself if it's about grief, like proper grief, or if it's just about like yearning, good old gay yearning or longing, whatever you want to call it. But it always just makes me think of like all the things that we all want to do at any given point in time, but we just can't do for a plethora of reasons. So my question for you today and the prompt is, what do you wish you could do right now but can't? It could be big or small, but we want you to try to get at the craving, the itch, feel how far away your desire is, and whether it's close enough to touch. And especially because we're talking about earnestness today, we want you to write as though you couldn't lie even if you wanted to, which is a big ask, but bear with us for this one. It'll make sense. So this one will be, we'll have like 15 minutes, so you have a bit more time to kind of dig into the material here. And maybe what we'll do is we'll put the poem back up on the screen in case you want to read it again.
We didn't really say this, but normally this is the time when we share. Ooh.
Oh, we should have said that. That kind of
not an obligation.
Things.
Not at all an obligation, but part of the workshop is sharing some like quick work. Partly because it's like nice to know that not everything has to be the magnum opus, like your best thing ever. And normally, if people do share, we use like sticky notes. Elena, do you want to talk about this? Because this is your like situation.
Yeah, sure. So like basically the sticky notes are just if you have anything nice to say about what the person has shared, like even just a note of like encouragement or a particular word or sentence that you thought was impactful, just to write it down and kind of help people know what stood out from their work. It's also just a nice way to like have something like physical to kind of hold on to and like go home with. So I always like to do that. But I guess we don't want to pressure anyone to do anything they don't want to do. But if anyone would be interested in reading even just like a small part of anything they've written, we would be open to that.
Yeah.
Please. Okay, so we're going to pass these around just in case anyone wants to write. Oh, that's amazing. I love a little French-English action. I mean, I think probably most of us here understand French at least. Am I correct in assuming that? Yeah.
I'm going to read what I wrote for the last exercise. Yeah. So I'm in a bit of a heartbreak right now, so it's about that. Yeah. Le désir est prêt, le désir est sale. Il est là quand je tente de passer la gratte dessus comme si ma peau était un trottoir de printemps de Gadou. Le désir est là quand je joue du goulot de ma bouteille de moussed, quand j'y glisse mon index pour boire l'alcool que tu ne touches plus avec autre chose que ma langue. J'y touche à ton dos large, à tes cernes que t'as laissé traîner dans mon lit. J'y touche. Quand je baise un autre homme médiocre et quand je mens, comme si les bibelots sur le bord de mes fenêtres n'étaient pas le cimetière d'une empreinte. Quand je dis que tu as pris la bonne décision, quand je dis que j'ai hâte à l'été, que dans 6 mois, j'aurais plus besoin de boire pour oublier un membre fantôme. L'amputation aura guéri, je crois. Est-ce ça, vraiment, le désir, une amputation? Un vide où quelque chose est censé être. Pourquoi j'y touche? Pourquoi tes mains jouent encore sur mes seins? J'ai passé le savon 1000 fois sur les fruits et la viande du déjeuner. Les brunchs seront toujours à toi. J'y touche. Les poires roulent dans ma bouche. J'y touche. Le désir est prêt. Le désir est sale. Il est là. Inscrit sur les post-it que je colle sur ton front imaginaire. Mon membre fantôme à moi. J'y touche. Sur chaque corps, même le mien.
Merci. That was amazing.
Yeah. Does anybody else maybe want to share? Do you want to share?
No, please. Please.
Yeah, I'll do the first one too. And it's kind of, I don't know what it's called, but it's just kind of going to be like punchy words from it. Okay. 2005 Honda from a job, $1,200, never back. Drove into a rain cloud, blasting in the CD drive, splashing dirt, boredom, behind. By myself, an hour both ways. Returned to myself, to our house. You got back from work where teens and their parents made excuses. Crack a beer and I'll walk your dog.
I love it.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm still thinking. Crack a beer and I'll walk your dog. It kind of sounds like an insult, but also like a compliment.
It does,
like,
yeah.
At the same time.
I feel like this is like crack a beer actually is like a sound for me. I think I'm stealing that from you. I'll quote you.
I'm not going to read mine because it's low-key private. Okay. What about you, Knowah? Did you want to read yours?
Okay. I feel like there are bits of this that I'm like, I will probably keep working on. It's funny, you're talking about heartbreak. Andre, I'm like coming out of heartbreak and like dating again. I'm like, oh. Anyways, okay. Miss you, thinking of you picking me up from the train station. Should I ask you for peanut M&Ms for a lollipop or popsicle? Warmed by hand for your slush? Can it be blue, raspberry, watermelon, and sharp like the revolution of your love? Always in spring, remember when I miss you. Remember cutting tulip stalks on an angle far from the base. Thinking about you, growing them longer, I ask for more flowers for yellow and purple, dyed and dried. Rose-colored eucalyptus. Miss you. I'm asking about the scientific name for a willow tree and a banyan tree and the tree that spills seeds all over the sidewalk. Miss you, and I'll tell you when I see you. Miss you and your one good ear. Miss you and your wide shoulders, back, neck, smile. Miss you and the bloody freckle in your middle. Miss you and your opinions and your wrong opinions. Miss you in the grocery aisle, picking all the wrong fruit. Miss you in my voicemail, so I screen your call. I get in at noon. You know?
Miss you and your wrong opinions. We were all gagged at that one. We were all like,
I've really been down for writing in a way of being like like just the imperfection of it all. Okay, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll talk about this maybe in the next one. Does anybody else want to share? We're like, okay. You're thinking about it?
Oh, wow. Everyone, I love, this is what happens. Everyone is like, no, at first. And then
It's
you're like,
scary.
okay, fine.
Okay, I never shared anything, so I'm very anxious. Okay, I guess maybe it's gonna be long, but it's okay. I wish they were under my hiking boots, with only known the cement of the city, soft green grass of a green so striking that if I took a picture, even I would believe it was AI. I long for easier times that never existed, for a time without phones, where 4chan don't exist, but where I could still read Ginny Hermione fanfic as a teen. I long for a purpose. I'm starting to realize I'll never find. It's not going to be my work or an hypothetic family built through PMA, syringes, and Doctor en blouse blanche who are slightly transphobic. It won't be community nor friends, no matter how much I like it to be. It will be nothing. It will be breathing, eating when I'm hungry, sleeping, shitting. It will be reading book I wish with my whole being I could have written. Watching movies I wish I'd watched sooner. Discovering artists whose name I'll never remember. Sometime it will be as small as a taste of coffee in my mouth. Sometime as big as unrelentless love for an imperfect being. It will be hard or so easy, like breathing with and without a cold, like swallowing before and after a sore throat. Like all things, it will be cyclic, and that's fine.
I have a question for you. How do you choose? So I'm assuming you speak French, and I'm also assuming you maybe write in French sometimes. How do you choose which language you're gonna write in? Yeah. Right. That makes sense. Yeah, totally. That's super interesting. I've always wondered that, but
I like the idea though of like collage, like translation and collage in that way. That's interesting. Okay. Should we move on? Does anybody else? Oh, Neem. Does anybody else want to share? Yeah?
wow, amazing. Incredible work.
It's like we're like coaxing.
Dunya. What if you were here? I'm not telling who you are, you should know. The space of desire and yearning tires me. I've built many castles that are hanging by a thread in my head. They're always vast, with many different hallways, rooms, windows, and doors that lead me back into myself. Castles on top of castles, hanging on by threads on top of threads. If you were here, we could run through their hallways, laughing and kissing, and then we could smash them, room by room, window by window, castle by castle, and pull the threads into a fleshy existence.
I feel the direct inspiration from Gabrielle's work. Kind of like the wanting someone to be there with you and kind of missing that. I mean, you had that too.
Yeah.
Great points. Great points.
But I really enjoy your repetition though. Castles and castles and threads and threads. Like those are sounds that also when you're like reading out loud is kind of really easy for people. Not even like easy is good in terms of just being like, oh, I will remember that. That will be sticking with me. Cute. Should we Do y'all want to share? No, it's okay. Okay, we will move on. Also, like prompt-wise, I normally am like, how did that feel? Like thumbs-wise. Good. Okay. Oh, am I stuck? Yeah, shoot.
I found it because I'm a big reader of Poetry Magazine, and Poetry Magazine publishes quite a bit of Gabrielle's work, actually. This was in like an old issue of Poetry Magazine. Why do you ask? Oh, okay, just curiosity. Okay. Yeah.
Given that like earnestness is like the theme of the day, we were thinking about the opposite side of that spectrum, kind of being like, okay, you're so earnest, you can't lie. Now let's look at somebody who like lies all the time. And the poet is Stevie Manning. We actually got to work with her. She's this like trans girl in Toronto, and we love her work. We brought her in because sometimes we do like collaborations, and she like was talking about the things that she was writing and like her process. But this is from her new book called Shampoo Boy, because she used to wash hair, truly. And so I've stolen two. Oops. So the first one is called Sorry About the Wedding. It goes, sorry about the wedding. Many nights have been spent vegetarian, lying through my teeth before I figured out my face. This isn't my first heterosexual relationship if you wash it. Even hair grows straight. Sorry again about the wedding, the way I half came out after drinking, picked at the porchetta, burnt coffee and thought, this isn't what I wanted. I tried loving my acceptable wardrobe, all those piddly things. I'd call myself in the morning. I want you to find a real guy. I want you to raise an illicit eyebrow. I want to ask about his dick. And then beards, which I asked her, I was like, is this about like a beard in terms of like when you are gay and you cannot come out and you're like, I have to have like some version of a heterosexual situation on my arm? And she was like, yeah. So beards, people don't know enough. They don't like to be confronted and they hit. They're glad you're nervous. The first time gets it out the way. Cancel your clients, tell them you're having a histamine reaction, tell them you're sick, tell them you're drunk, sneak around and get a bank account, raw estrogen directly from the source, ride along in the killer's car, passing, flaring your nostrils, gripping the seat. It's useless to run and impossible to fight. Adultery's nothing, your best hope is nobody can see. No, that's okay. Write about an obligation that you're relieved to get out of. Make up an excuse that no one will believe, or apologize for something that you're actually glad happened, and like be upfront about it, be direct. Does this make sense? Okay. Do we want to stay on the prompt page or do we want to look at the poems? Prompt page? Okay. We'll stay here. Another 15 minutes.
That was a good one. I liked that one. I feel like it felt, yeah. It was like hard at first, but then I feel like it felt.
I wrote some really like stupid shit. That's great, but I like it.
Good.
Does anybody want to share? Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God. I'm going through some really hyper-specific beef right now, so this is gonna be cathartic to get out. No, we can talk after, but you'll get some. Without context, it's good. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that we kicked you out. Sorry that I don't have to keep up with your racing long legs, your racing long hair. I wish I could have seen your print, a white horse, more like a white flag stained with red, your true colors. I wish I could have seen your blue and yellow flag in its full glory. I'm sorry you embarrassed yourself in Poland. You can't even do pickup. I thought that was supposed to be the easy part, but I guess you said yourself you're not a weaver. I'm sorry you have no place to go. It must be hard. Paris or Miami. I guess you have no home. I'm sorry we raised 3 times as much without you. Sorry that I didn't owe you money for your shitty baklava. I'm sorry that I don't need to make up an excuse no one would believe. You made it up yourself. I'm sorry things always seem to go awry for you. Did your boat get stolen? Was she named after a woman, a human, an alien?
I don't think that you're like angry like at all.
That was shocking.
I'm like, is this looming tea? Is this like...
Thank you for sharing the fibers tea with us. Thank God, so we don't talk shit about lesbians here.
No.
But we do.
Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else want to share?
I'll give some context for this because I feel like I need to qualify or something, I guess. I was thinking about particularly like trauma dumping and self-victimizing, and when you're like, oh, like this really terrible thing happened to me, and then you're like, I'm actually like glad this happened because it like makes me sound like a victim, and I kind of love that sometimes. And I was like really sort of trying to like dive into this like feeling that I think that we all have that we're maybe not proud of, and I ended up with this sort of like this narrator that's kind of like defensive and hostile and like kind of unlikable. And then I only realized when I was done it, because as I was doing it, I was like, this isn't totally me. Like, I'm getting at this feeling, but it's not totally me. And then at the end of it, I was like, oh, like, I actually needed to do that to actually say something earnest. Like, I needed to, like, take it away from myself. And I just thought that was, I don't know, that was interesting for me. There's definitely, it's, like, contextually, like, very different. Maybe, like, there's, like, an abuse mention and whatnot, so just a content warning. And talks about, like, yeah, victimization and whatnot. Listen, I know real violence is happening to real people, but do you know how this coup d'etat looks on my grad school applications? I'm sorry my parents fucked me up by hitting my brother and loving me too much, always telling me they loved me more. Ugh, what baggage. We all have our traumas. And then when that boy in high school followed me home, or the one who said he'd kill himself unless I saved him, or the old man stalker who peeped through my windows and accosted me at the park till I filed a police report, I swear I have reasons to be like this. I'm trying to say it wasn't by choice. Something's unspeakable happened to me when I was a kid, and then they never stop happening. I'm trying my best to pick up that. Look at how I pick up the pieces.
I love that last line. Look.
Listen, though, because like, look, listen, look. Like those like interjections, I really like that. Thank you for sharing.
I'm just writing down stuff.
Does anybody else want to share? I will literally share. Obviously, I love doing this. Yeah, I don't know who this person is, but I would say that this is like avoidant doll vibes. And avoidant doll, maybe. I don't know. When I said I'd pick your dog up from the vet, I actually meant to say yes, I'm in the area, but no, I'm not available. There's this Polish cafe with cabbage rolls, and my mom, you've never met her, but she's allergic, and I thought I'd go see her later if I ever finish the real L word. I'll make it to the cafe, and then my mom's, and then your dog. See, it's like the last time you asked me to come to your aunt's funeral. I thought you meant you needed a ride. I'm sorry I had my nipples out and that I hit on your sister and her girlfriend at the hors d'oeuvres table and quoted Pat Califia to your mom. She seemed woke and kink-centered. Oh, and sorry about your aunt. I know you hated her. What kind of dog do you have again? And that's it. Just being like totally checked out.
That was really funny. Okay, I might be crazy and read mine.
Yay.
Actually.
This is like a groundwork like first.
I never read my stuff.
Elena has shared like twice, and I love that about you.
Yeah, I kind of went in like an interesting direction with this. Actually kind of reminds me of Christina's in tone, but anyways. Okay, I know I'm 30 minutes late to your funeral, but you have to understand the traffic was terrible. I got out and sat in the tiny slice of space between a Toyota and a BMW. I think the Toyota was a RAV4. I laid down and waited 5 minutes, just daring the cars to move. Because they say a watched pot never boils, because they say you always get the job when you don't want it. So I thought the same principle might apply here. And if the cars moved and ran me over, I'd be dead, but at least the traffic would be moving. And if the cars never moved, well, then I wouldn't die. It's a win-win situation. You see, this is what life is all about. You have to create opportunities for yourself to thrive. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm still here, which means the traffic didn't move, which means I lost the game, but won my life. Not that I really needed it in the first place, which means I'm still in the traffic as we speak, which means I never got to your funeral, which means we're not really having this conversation, which means you're not actually dead. You're not.
I also I love the tone you took on too.
The attitude?
Mm-hmm. I wrote Legally Blonde Rambling because what I wrote.
I felt like the attitude was warranted after the poems that you read.
Yeah. Stevie has that tone. Yeah. And I love her. So I'm also when Stevie reads her poems, she actually she's memorized everything, and then she stands up and then she does the bit. So when she was with us, she was talking about performance, which was really interesting to see, because even if we're oftentimes we have people in the room who are have never written before or who are published writers, but the grand scheme of it is that not many people are writing to read their things out loud. Yeah, so I always think that's really interesting. Anyways, okay. Does anybody else want to share? Yeah, Magic.
Thank you. I don't think I need to do a context, but I can after. But anyways, okay. Look at my face, it's beaming. You told me more than once, you all did, what needed to be done, what I should do. The answer is nope, and I'm thrilled. Thrilled that our ceramics don't match and that our handwriting is worse than our bad manners. Tend to your own lawn as I pay you no mind. I guess I'm in my terrible two phase. Well, it's been nearly 6 years, and I don't digress.
Can you say that the last part again? I didn't hear it.
I guess I'm in my terrible two phase. Well, it's been nearly 6 years, and I do not digress. I don't digress. Thank you.
I like the idea that the terrible twos extend to whatever age it is that you are in, the terrible 30s.
It's kind of stop being a people pleaser and say no, but it's really hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you gotta do it.
Yeah.
And then you're so happy when you say no. It's
fucking true.
Yes.
So fucking true.
Yes.
Maybe that's the problem. When you're in your terrible twos, you're parents are how do we get this child out of the terrible two phase? And that's how we all become people pleasers. Child psychology.
Okay, doctor. Does anybody else want to share? I feel like you're so thinking about it. Okay, you're not.
Maria's not thinking about it.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Well, I mean, thank you so much, first of all, to everyone who did share. And also thank you to you, Maria. But I am really happy that you guys shared and were so vulnerable with us. It's not kind of a given. It's not always I feel like the thing too about what we're doing here is we're asking you to come and do work. So it's not the same as being come to this conference and kind of listen to other people's work. This is a very involved and active practice that we're asking of you. So thank you for taking the time and making that effort.
Yeah. I really appreciate it. This is, essentially we're kind of at the end point. But we always have a little meme. It's been spoiled. But we will. Can you hit my slide, maestro? Sorry. Thank you.
Désolé, je peux pas asseoir. J'ai groundwork.
And did you pull this from, what is it?
Pull it from Quebec City affirmations. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for coming, being here, and spending time with us. It was so nice to meet all of you and get to know you, kind of, through your writing. I'm why do I know? Yeah, literally. False intimacy. Title of the next Groundwork. I'm writing it down. Oh, and also, we can share our little post-its for you. I'm gonna distribute mine.